Before you watch this video, I want you to listen carefully. Not just to the numbers, but to what's really being argued. This is a moment from Jamaica's House of Representatives, where government officials present power restoration figures after a devastating hurricane. But as you are about to see, those numbers are challenged strongly. What starts as a technical update on electricity quickly turns into accusations of misleading statements, a fiery confrontation over respect and order in Parliament, and a shocking revelation that one entire constituency has zero electricity. So as you watch, ask yourself this question: are we measuring progress, or are we ignoring people still left in darkness? Let's watch.
Madam Speaker, Westmoreland has 34,603 customers. At this point in time, 17,096 are out. 49% remains out. St. Elizabeth, 46,145, 18,373, 40% out, or 60% on, depending on how you want to look at it. Let me just pause to remind Jamaica and to remind my colleagues that in December, Westmoreland was at 18% restoration. That was the middle of December. We are now at the middle of January, and we are now at 49%. Hanover, 16,733, only 2,799 are out. 17% remain out. St. James, 62,455, only 8,287 remain out. 13% in the second city. And Trelawney, 21,019 customers, for which only 2,501, 12% remain out. Manchester, 49,438, 2,001, 4% remain out. And St. Anne, 47,334, 723 customers, 2%. The rest of the island has been fully restored in all other parishes. Mr. Speaker, these figures must be understood in context. Despite one of the most devastating natural disasters in our history, Jamaica did not experience an all-island blackout. Following the hurricane, 23% of customers retained service. This is as a result of investments in the grid, solid preparation for the hurricane, outstanding execution. Hurricane preparedness resulted in the proactive mobilization with additional linesmen and equipment on the ground before the hurricane made landfall. So just to put it in context, the JPS had a team of foreign contractors in the island before the hurricane hit. And subsequently, we brought 2 more sets of linesmen, approximately 300 linesmen with equipment that landed here. The linesmen landed here between the 15th of December and the 23rd of December. And the equipment, one set of equipment arrived here on the 27th of December and one on the 1st of January. So in real terms, the 300 linesmen that arrived there before Christmas couldn't do much because they didn't have their equipment. However, when the equipment came, one company has been on the ground for 3 weeks and the other for 2 weeks. And this is what you are seeing as it relates to the recovery. What is even more interesting is that when I made a statement in this house, there were many on the opposite side that were totally against it, led by the leader of the opposition. And I can say happily that good sense has prevailed. Good sense has prevailed, and everybody is posting what the success is in Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth.
Minister.
Misleading, you take me a little now?
Turn your mic on.
The minister is misleading the House. The position of the opposition on that matter was that he had indicated that the necessary resources to restore the grid was $350 million US. And he came here to say that the government would be advancing essentially 100% of the cat bond proceeds to JPS as a loan, 150 million US, and he had nothing to say about the other 200, which he said was needed. And we were asking, how is it prudent to proceed in that way? He has flown off the handle, got extremely unpleasant about it, and has still not answered that question, incidentally. We were never against providing financing to JPS per se, but it was the absence of a proper coherent plan to fill a gap which he said existed. He said existed. And he has still not indicated what is the actual cost of restoring the grid. He has not said what the actual cost of restoring the grid is, but he's indicated that this 150 million seems to be adequate to do it. I don't know where the original $350 to $400 million US, which was what was being touted back then. What is the story with that, Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I would ask Hansard to be reviewed. When the statement was made that they were not in support of the $150 million until we knew where the rest of the money was coming, and therefore they did not want the $150 million to be dispersed so the people could get back light. The people want light. Mr. Speaker, let me put on record so I can done the argument once and for all. The $150 billion that was asked for and lent is the only thing that is on the table at this time to this government. We have no discussion. Mr. Speaker, let me put on record so I can done the argument once and for all. The $150 billion that was asked for and lent is the only thing that is on the table at this time to this government. We have no discussion or communication, verbal or written, about anything other than the $150 million to bring back light by the end of January. That is the situation as of now. So until something comes to me, there is nothing that I can tell. What I can say without fear of contradiction, that if we had followed them, we would still be waiting on light till the end of this year because of their bad mind. Madam Speaker,
the benefit of the doubt. And listen, we take no pleasure in people experiencing darkness. We want Jamaica to have a fully restored grid, and 100% of our people having access to electricity. And at no time did we berate the government for trying to assist in the funding. What we had a difficulty with was the arrangement that we were told about. And we still have a problem with it, because what the minister has said today is that those 50,000 customers in Westmoreland and elsewhere are not going to get their electricity.
By the end of January, 30 of the 51,000 will have back light. It is the 21,000 that is not ready to receive light that we have to work with through JSIF, through MLSS, and through whoever else to get them in a position. You're not even in the parish, so shut your mouth. You're in Clarendon and you have all of your light already. Shut your mouth. So, Mr. Speaker, the member is misleading the House. 30,000 of the 51,000 will get back light. And the other 21,000 we will work with as quickly as possible.
Minister.
But it is beyond.
Minister.
After Vaz finished his presentation, Angela Brown Burke lit a fire in the House.
She went straight at the speaker, questioning why Vaz was being allowed to get away with so much. Brown Burke was on fire. The intensity of the moment was so strong that the House could not silence her.
I'm on a point of order.
He's already on a point of order.
You sit down.
He's already on a point of order. He's already on a point of order.
Madam, sit down. I am on a point of order.
He's on a point of order.
I'm not yielding. And I hope now that the matter has been cleared of the mischief and the misleading commentary.
Member from Kingston, Eastern and Port Royal. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, the minister, while he was speaking on the mic, officially told us on this side to shut him out. And I heard nothing coming from you as Speaker of the House to call him to books. I believe that the uneven application of the rules is totally unacceptable. And this message to the students in the gallery is also one that is unacceptable.
The Member of Parliament for Eastern Westmoreland had been waiting patiently for his moment, and when the time came, Dayton Campbell wheeled out the file. Facts replaced fiction, receipts replaced talking points. The figures were debunked, and the claims were exposed.
Westmoreland Eastern.
Thank you very much. I didn't make a first one. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, through you to the Minister, sir. In the statement on page 5, it says that in one instance, 40 miles of lines were rebuilt with over 1,000 poles from Ferris Cross to Hodges, Westmoreland to St. Elizabeth, to restore approximately 2,000 customers. Is the Minister aware that that is a proposal and that has not yet taken place? There is no rebuilding of lines that has taken place from Ferris to Hodges in St. Elizabeth. To go further, Mr. Speaker, there is not one customer of JPS in Eastern Westmoreland that is currently with electricity. What? Not one. Of the 17,000 persons, customers in Westmoreland that are currently without electricity, over 10,000 of them are from Eastern Westmoreland. Approximately 60% of them are from Eastern Westmoreland. They say the substation is paradise to come so you can service Darliston and Betheltown and other areas up in the hill. And then from Magati so you can service White House and other areas down on the flat. They have a proposal to do that restoration. But as of today, there is no customer in Eastern Westmoreland with electricity supplied by the JPS. None. Not one. Not one single solitary one. One dege, none. No. Mr. Speaker, I met with Mr. Hugh Grant. I met with Mr. Hugh Grant, the CEO of JPS, and a group of members from JPS who are currently stationed at Sanders in the White House division in Eastern Westmoreland, and they went through and gave a full presentation to myself, the member from Western Westmoreland, and the member from Central Westmoreland. Right? Now, the plan is to put a generator in Darliston so that you can serve the school, the police station, the health center, tax office, And I've asked them to go down as well to Clifton Boys Home. That is a plan to do so. We will still not have any electricity up in Betheltown. When we say that there are persons who are not ready to receive light, that is true. And that is also not new. That is certainly not a Christopher Columbus moment. Because we said it from day one here that over 5,000 houses were totally destroyed. As a matter of fact, the member from Western Westmoreland was criticized and accused of crying crocodile tears when he said, why not take the money to rebuild the houses because you can't give light to people who don't have houses. No. The minister said in his statement as well that 21,000 persons are not ready to receive and that JSIF will be working with them. Now, as far as I am aware, not ready to receive means that the structure is not in place. What JSIF wrote to us about are for persons who already have a structure in place and would not apply to that 21,000. It would not apply to the 21,000 who don't have any structure. It would apply to the persons who need wiring of a structure. That is totally different. It is easy. Easy, Mr. Speaker. It is easy. It is easy for members in here who have constituencies with electricity.
Member,
it is easy for members who have electricity to say anything they feel like.
I do understand your emotions. I do understand. But I do allow me to speak because I am speaking now. I understand your emotion as it relates to representing the people. But the spokesperson made his presentation. I am now asking you just to concentrate and focus on the questions and not to make a presentation. All right?
Eastern Westmoreland. And I think when they elected a representative, they elected one from among them to go out and make representation on their behalf. It is easy, Mr. Speaker, for members who are not affected to laugh and say anything they feel like. It is much different when you have an entire constituency of over 30,000 persons who currently do not have electricity. It is totally different. It's affecting their households, it's affecting their businesses, it's affecting their livelihood, and the idea that we put a generator in Darliston is one that is welcome. Can we also put a generator in Betheltown so that the residents within Betheltown can also benefit from electricity? Because it is not true that all of them are not ready to receive electricity. There are persons there who are ready to receive electricity. But the plan, Mr. Speaker, is how long, the question is, how long will it take us to restore the electricity from the substation in Magati so that the people from White House going all the way down to Cave can receive electricity? And how long will it take us to continue the extension from Paradise so that we can go through the areas in central Westmoreland and get into eastern Westmoreland, because we're currently not even at the border of eastern Westmoreland? It is unacceptable, Mr. Speaker, that one constituency in Jamaica has 0 persons who currently have electricity. Unacceptable.
What we witnessed in the House of Representatives was not just a debate. It was a full-blown confrontation over electricity, accountability, and the lived reality of Jamaica still in darkness. Because while government figures were being read out, one constituency had zero light, and the truth could not be shouted down. Energy Minister Daryl Vaz presented figures showing progress in restoring electricity after the hurricane. According to the minister, Westmoreland, 49% was restored. St. Elizabeth, 60% restored. St. James, Trelawney, Manchester, St. Anne, mostly restored. Other parishes, fully restored. The government's position was clear. The $150 million loan to GPS is the only funding on the table, and it is delivering results. But opposition leader Mark Golding wasn't buying it. He reminded the House that the restoration cost was first quoted at $350 to $400 million, and only $150 million was approved. And no one explained where the remaining money would come from. The opposition made one thing clear. They were not against helping GPS. They were against moving without a full, coherent plan. That question up to that point remained unanswered. Things took a sharp turn when tempers flared. Minister Vaz, while on the microphone, told members on the opposition side to shut their mouth. And that's when Angela Brown-Buck stepped in. She challenged the speaker directly, calling out uneven enforcement of rules, disrespectful language in Parliament, and the bad example being set for students in the gallery. Her message was simple and firm. Order must apply to everyone, not selectively. Then came Dayton Campbell, MP for Eastern Westmoreland. And this is where figures met reality. He revealed not one single GPS customer in Eastern Westmoreland has electricity. Over 10,000 of the 17,000 affected customers in Westmoreland are from his constituency. He claims about rebuilt lines were proposals, not completed work. Zero lights, not some, not a few, none. He explained that thousands of homes were completely destroyed. Many residents are not ready by choice. They no longer have structures. It's easy to talk when your constituency has electricity. It's different when 30,000 people are living in total darkness. Health, security, businesses, mental well-being, all affected. So here is the real issue Jamaicans must think about. How can a country claim restoration success when one entire constituency still has zero electricity? Progress may be real, but pain is also real. And both must be acknowledged at the same time. This debate wasn't just about GPS. It was about truth versus talking points. If you believe Parliament must reflect the real conditions on the ground, hit like, subscribe and share this video. Let's keep the conversation honest, because Jamaicans deserve light, not spin.